Nemam zvuk. Ne znam šta se dešava.
Test 1 2 1 2 test. Do you hear? Everything is okay?
Prošle godine isto organizovali prilike u ovo vreme ili možda u julu.
Hello, can I
sedim i da razvrstavam ovo.
Please
Razmišljala sam, neke bih možda dala školama, neke bih možda vrtiću dala.
Excuse me, can you mute your mic? Thank you. I'll do it. Okay. Please, we will have time for question and Q&A after every session for our participants. I would like to say that in this crisis time, it's very important to save the culture and education. Of course, when economic crisis begin, the first hit sectors are education and culture, especially. So it's very important to keep these sections active and to remind the society that we are also important as economy. Yes. So I would like to welcome the president of Serbian Library Association, Mr. Bogdan Trifunovic. He, because of some obligations he had, he pre-recorded this welcome speech. So let's hear him.
Dear colleagues, on behalf of the Serbian Library Association, I'm delighted to welcome you to the second International Online Conference on Digital Transformation in Culture and Education, which is organized online today and tomorrow. It is the second such conference organized by the Serbian Library Association Digital Transformation in Libraries section, and I congratulate our section and the conference program and organizing committee members. Dear colleagues, their overall work. The International Online Conference on Digital Transformation in Culture and Education was started in 2021 during the global problems imposed by the COVID-19 pandemics. But the scope and aim of the conference go well beyond the impact of the pandemic. I would like to think that COVID-19 experience gave us a momentum to steer up our interests and to speed up certain decisions. The decision to start such a conference by our section for digital transformation was definitely a good one. Maybe some of you were present during the 2021 conference, which was a big success, attracting interest from all over the world. Digital transformation in culture and education is a lasting process, influenced in the past decades by the changes in technology, work environment, global economy, and human habits. If we try to narrow down its main aspects in relation with the changes in culture and education, we can trace certain sub-themes that are well phrased in this year's conference call for papers. These sub-themes are institutional IT infrastructure, digitization and digital collections, web and social networks, e-catalogs, applications, digital ethics, etc. I am very pleased to welcome our keynote speakers and presenters from many places all over the world. The conference international aspect is truly fulfilled with participants from 14 countries. Almost 20 presentations and over 30 authors and discussion participants will be present online during the next 2 days. in 4 sessions and 1 panel, which is great to see us once more united. We also hope that many more viewers are here with us as it was in 2021. The diversity of topics which are accepted are quite comprehensive, and I congratulate both our authors for submitting them and the conference committee for their selection. The planned proceedings of papers in e-form will provide the means for further discussion about the examples, practices and ideas which will be presented at the DTCE 22. Once more, thanks to all for your contributions and effort in preparing and executing Digital Transformation in Culture and Education Conference. I wish you all a lot of success, and in the spirit of recent developments, I have to send you also an ancient wisdom to be your guideline. Mens sana in corpore sano, because we need to stay and to be healthy, right? All the best.
Warm thank you. Thanks to our president, and repeat his in corpore sana message. So I think it's time to start. Please, I would like to present our dear friend and the chair of the first session, Miss Tamara Butikan. Tamara.
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conference. We are about to start a little bit earlier than it was in the program. So I would just like to know whether Susanna is ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
You are. Okay. Just a few words before before we start. Yes, I would like to know that it's a pity that we are online again, but at least this conference carbon footprint would be close to 0. So yeah, we did something good for the planet. Our first keynote speaker is Susanne Blumesberger from the Vienna University Library. She's head of the Department of Federal Services, but also she's chairperson of the Austrian Society for Children's and Youth Literature Research. So she's both researcher and librarian, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I'm really looking for her speech about research data between open access and closed access. So, Susanne, please, the virtual floor is all yours for another half an hour. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I will try to share my screen now. I hope that it will work. So let's try it. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
And the presentation?
Okay? Yes, yes.
Ah, fine. Thank you. So, try to start it. Okay, so now it should work. Okay, so let's start. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here with you. The digital transformation in libraries is a very important and current topic that actually touches all areas in libraries and has also had and will continue to have a very strong influence on the job description. Working with the internet and social media is taken for granted today, as is working with digital books and journals. What is relatively new, however, is that we librarians no longer deal exclusively with publications, but for some time now also with data. Repositories, and you can see here the repository FEDRA from the University of Vienna, for the long-term availability of digital content have been and are being built. And we are also focusing more and more on the sustainable handling of research output. This in turn opens up a wealth of new tasks and challenges, of course. After all, being able to manage data from different research contexts requires a great deal of knowledge that goes far beyond the previous range of tasks performed by libraries. Above all, we need technical knowledge, and cooperation with computer science is absolutely essential. But we also need legal knowledge to be able to deal with copyright issues, for example. We also need to acquire new knowledge in the area of metadata, which we librarians are actually very familiar with, because here the classic metadata, as we know it from printed works, is not sufficient. Depending on the subject area, more information about the data is needed here. Last but not least, we also need people who deal with data on a strategic level, who are always in exchange with the researchers, but also with the funding agencies, because this is the only way knowledge can flow between all parties involved. At the same time, the new areas of responsibility need to be well anchored in their own institutions, in libraries, research centers, universities, and so on. The topic of research data is a good illustration of the profound changes that have been taking place in society for some time, but also of the cultural differences that can be observed. Yes, that's the list of all these new tasks and challenges I just talked about. Sorry for being late with my screen. The topic of open access has profoundly changed the publication landscape. The pattern of an author writing a text, having it published for a fee, and readers or libraries paying for it to be read has been reversed. While open access is already established in almost all disciplines, the situation is completely different for data. The decision to make data freely available depends on many factors. There are also numerous framework conditions here. There must be some incentive to share data with others. This incentive, in turn, can be motivated in different ways. Researchers, for example, want others to continue working with their data, but the requirements of the funding bodies or the policies of the individual research institutions also play a major role. At the same time, the appropriate structure must be in place to enable data to be shared at all. This involves the technical infrastructure, such as repositories, but also services that help researchers manage their data. Mandatory data management plans from funding agencies have meant that researchers have to start thinking about how they will manage the data they produce in the future, even after the project ends, at the very beginning of their research. A crucial factor in opening up data is the legal situation. After all, if you define the term research data very broadly, and we do this, and include videos, audios, text, and images here, you are often confronted with copyright issues. For this reason alone, researchers may not make their data freely available. or not immediately. The situation also becomes complex when several countries with different legal requirements are involved in projects, or when projects involve collaboration with companies. Ethical issues are also an important aspect. In some research areas, it is only possible to make data freely available if it is anonymized. This is the case in medicine, for example, but also when it comes to surveys of children or young people. But also in research on different cultures, it can happen that research data is better not made available in order to protect a group of people. So how can the principle of as open as possible, as closed as necessary, be met? A good approach here is offered by the FAIR principles, which aim above all to make metadata available as openly as possible, to always keep processes and decisions transparent, and thus to ensure the most open access possible. What should not happen is that researchers do not make the data available only because they lack the knowledge, do not find suitable structures or services, or receive too little support. What does all this mean for us librarians? How can we support there? My suggestions would be good networking among librarians to work on issues together, a close contact with researchers, a close cooperation with the funding agencies, a close collaboration with technicians, the establishment of structures, establishment of research support services, the adaptation of the training of librarians, and the adaptation of job descriptions. And good approaches are already in place with the introduction of data champions or data stewards. Data stewards build bridges between faculties, researchers, libraries, IT centers, and other central services of research institutions. Data stewards accompany the entire research process, have an overview of available tools, know the requirements of the funding bodies and the respective data management plans, know about archiving options, organize workshops and trainings, establish contacts with lawyers and ethical bodies, and for perfect cooperation between all data stewards, it makes sense to set up a coordinating office. In Austria, the process has already started. Within the framework of the Fair Data Austria project, which was funded by the ministry, preparations for the establishment of data stewards could be started. The Graz University of Technology already has 3 data stewards. And the University of Vienna will also start with 3 data stewards shortly. At the same time, a certificate course for data stewards will be offered at the University of Vienna from autumn, and it's in English. A webinar series also deals with the topic, also in English. So we can see the data stewards and some tasks of it. And here you find a fully available and open access webinar, which is in English about the topics of a data steward. It's called What Does a Data Steward Do? And in the end, research data can be very complex. And the question of whether it can be offered open or closed is not easy to answer. This requires experts from different disciplines who ideally work closely together. So that's all from me. And maybe there are some questions. I will be happy to answer your questions now. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Susanne. Yeah, that was really short. I mean, in short, yeah, you digested, you know, the most important issues when we deal with the research data. So, first of all, I would ask the audience if someone has something to comment or ask about this interesting keynote speech. Because I'm not sure whether Q&A channel is installed here or we will have questions right online. Yeah. Well, in that, if there is no questions, I would ask. I was involved in Daria network for several years, so I would like to ask you, Susanne, do you have this this cooperation with Daria Austria, and how it is, you know, how it is implemented in your country? This kind of cooperation between libraries and research community with Daria.
Yes, we have connections to this Daria, and we have good connections, but and it's also good established in Austria, very good. But it's not in our university, it's the most in the Austrian Society for Science. So I don't know the real English name for it. I hope it is the right way. And there are some many projects and many people who are working in this topic, in the digital humanities and Daria and the other topics around this big topic. And we all, Austria is a small country, you know, so we are all connected in a one or other way. And we are closely working together, yes. And we hope that we work also on this topic, and this is a very important topic together, and also with repositories and open access and all the other research data management and also data stewardship. It's a very important topic now for us. And we try to work closely together. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's yeah, if there are no, could we hear more? Okay.
Okay.
Another question from Yelena. She asked if we could hear more about experiences with funding bodies, like what are the requirements, which are the problems you are facing with the funding bodies, and so on. And maybe we could add a question about projects you were involved in as the Vienna University Library.
Yes, yes, we are deeply involved in this because we had some European funded projects now, like the project Learn and Open Air we are dealing with, and also some other projects like the big projects also in our university, and we try to help the researchers to deal with these data management plans. And we are also working together with our biggest funder in Austria. It's the FWF. And the FWF requires a data management plan since 2019. And since this year, since the 1st of January, he has a new data management plan, and it's very, it's not so easy for the researchers to deal with this, because before that they never ask themselves, what should I do with my data after the project? So you know that in the past, they wrote a book, a journal article, and it was published, and that's all. And the project was over, and nobody asked if there were some data. And now the data is very important for the funder, because they don't want to fund 3 projects and the same topic. It's clear. And it's also very important to make this data available because of the transparency of research. So it's another topic. And so many of these researchers asking us, what should I fill in there in this kind of question, in this question? So they never thought about to make their data available for a long time. So long-term preservation, it's a quite new topic for them, from many researchers, not for all, but for many researchers. It's a new topic. And so they're asking us, and they're also asking for legal problems and for ethical problems, and also for technical questions. So if there are some questions about what kind of format do you use, or where's the documentation of your work along the project. So they never asked before they had these data management plans. So it's a very new task for them. And we at the universities in Austria, we try to support them with our kind of data management departments, and it's different from university to university, the structure of our data management departments, but we try to work together and to have an exchange, so that we could also we have also a good exchange with the funders. So it's very important for us to know what they want in future, and it's also important for them that they know how are the reactions of their data management plans. So we are in an exchange. It's very good, and yeah, I think it's a new development in the last years. And yes, let's hope that it's a good way for us to support the researchers.
Jelena.
Sorry, the problems, I think. Yes, the problems. I think it's a very good question about the problems, because of course there are some problems, because we have not enough people in the universities to support the researchers. Of course, it's not so easy to support every project. So we have to find ways with trainings and with webinars and so on to reach out for more people, for more researchers. And it's not so easy to support them face to face, but we try to do it. We try to support them.
Jelena, if you are satisfied with this question, we could go further. Yeah, I hope so. I noticed on one of your slides that you mentioned many issues arising from dealing with research data. And one very important one is copyright issue or legal issues. So could you tell us more about what kind of rules you are applying? For example, the National Library of Serbia, where I am working, we are cooperating with Europeana, and we applied more or less completely their rules in the copyright area. They are using Creative Commons licenses, and they are one of initiators. Europeana is one of initiator of rights statements consortium. So that's more or less what is familiar with us here, but what it could look like in the research area, and what rules are applied there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are also dealing with Europeana. We're also part of it. We had some projects together. And we have the problem in Austria because they use for the metadata CC0. And CC0, this is not really possible in Austria because of our law. So we have to say that we use CC BY, but not CC0. So that's one problem. And another problem is that many researchers, they don't know that there are rights on their research data. So if you're talking about text or about pictures and videos, so they have all this material and they want to make it available, but sometimes it's not possible because they have no rights on it, not the right rights. So they have to wait to have an embargo and to say that maybe in 30, 50 years it can be open, but not yet because of this law. And it's not so easy for them in every kind of project to decide which kind of data can be open now and freely open, so with open access way, and other should be closed for some time, and sometimes it's also not possible to open them also in 30 years because of medicine data or something else. I can't hear you, sorry, Tamara.
Yeah. I switched off my mic. Well, yeah, that's interesting that, you know, for metadata, you are using CC BY licenses because, yeah, we concluded that it could be CC0 here in Serbia because we are producing metadata during our working time. So I don't know, it's not something that we could, I don't know, consider as our authority in a way. Yeah.
No,
so,
sorry, that was a misunderstanding. For our metadata, we use CC0. We don't write it down, but it's a kind of CC0. But for the data, we use not the CC0, but CC BY.
CC BY. Yeah, but it's just for metadata. European insists on metadata in license CC0, and everything else should be considered separately. I mean, each digital object got different copyright metadata. I would also like you at the end of your keynote speech, I would like to ask you more about your second hat, just to remind myself about the Austrian Society for Children's and Youth Literature Research, because it sounds very interesting indeed. And at least here in Serbia, we do not have such a society. Okay. So could you please share some moments from your work in this area? Thanks.
I'm laughing because it's not really part of my work. So it's not officially. So it's after my work, I'm dealing with some kind of Austrian children's literature because I'm very interested in this topic. And I published some years ago in 2014 a handbook of female writers of children's literature. And yes, I started, I think there were more than 800 Austrian writers in this handbook. But it's not available in English. I'm sorry, it's only in German. But it's open access. If you know, you can read German, so it's open for you. And we're also doing some kind of events. So in this year, we have an event about Marie Neurath. I don't know if you know Otto Neurath, who started in the 1940s with Isotype. It's a kind of presenting some kind of statistics with kind of icons. So I think you know it when you see it. So kind of statistical with pictures and icons. So he was the founder of it, and Marie Neurath was his wife, and she also wrote pictures for children. And these big books were very interesting because she gave an insight in some kind of how to say, in an Apple or in a bus station or something else. Yes. So it was very nice, and in this year we will have it, and it's in English. That's why I'm saying it. So if you're interested, maybe you can write to me, and I'll give you the link then.
Yes, you could share the link in the chat.
Yes.
It's not a problem.
I have not yet a link, but in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
and one day. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
another very important topic of this is that I'm also working about the years of National Socialism. So it's between 1933 and 1945 in Austria. So, and therefore it's not so easy for me to open this kind of data. So, it's not so easy to open this kind of books, these pictures and this kind of speeches and all this. This is because I'm understanding the researcher who say it's not open for me. It's not possible to open my data. So I understand it, because for me it's also not so easy to open this kind of data. So to write something about it, it's not the metadata, yes, but the data it's not so easy because it's not allowed.
So how many years this kind of data would be closed for the audience, for the public?
Yes, I think this kind of data, it's not so, it's really a little bit tricky, because you find there are some speeches from Adolf Hitler and so on in these books for children, yeah, and also the signs of this time, and also some kind of pictures, and it's not so easy to open it without contextualization. Yeah. You have to write about and to discuss about it, but not only the kind of data. It's not good to do so. I think.
Yeah, because the copyright law, I hope that European copyright law is about 70 years after the death of the author.
Yes, but it's not only.
It's not only that. Yeah,
it's also
more complicated. In fact, yeah. But it's super interesting topic, I think, nowadays, especially. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Susanna, for everything, for your participation in programming committee, and also for this very, very, very fruitful speech at the beginning.
Didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay. Thank you again. We could.
If there's anything else I can help you with.
This is my iWatch. I'm sorry, it's new one, and I'm still not so familiar with it. Okay, I think that we could go further with three other contributions coming from Portugal, from Kazakhstan, and from Russia. So I am taking you on this small journey. So I saw that with Maria Armanda Salgado and Patricia Ferreira are already with us. They're coming from the municipality of Ferreira do Alentejo from Portugal. If Google Translate audio helped me to pronounce that in a good way. Thank you for seeing your beautiful faces.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, you will talk about a project called DCORE Learning by Heart, isn't it? It's a project implemented last year by Santa Casa de Misericordia de Ferreira do Alentejo.
Very well.
And it is a true pandemic project, isn't it? Something that arose from the pandemic time. So, yeah, please, the floor is yours. The virtual floor is yours for another 10 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So we have already started? Yeah? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Please, yeah, it's your time right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning to all. My name is Patrícia Ferreira. I came from Misericórdia de Ferreira do Alentejo. And the main purpose of this communication is disseminating the cultural project called the COR, Learning by Heart, implemented by our institution in Portugal since August 2021. The COR is an ambivalent expression in Portuguese. It sounds like, oh, sorry. Okay. It sounds like the core in Portuguese, meaning to memorize in English, and the core, meaning in Portuguese from heart. That's why the project was named the core, Learning by Heart. Its logo, it's here. Its logo is a heart made from a loop of wool using knitting needles, and it reflects this intention of preserving ancient knowledge and know-how with strong ties and affection. Collecting popular know-how and oral expressions, preserving them with the help of the new technologies, and passing them to the youngest are the main goals of this project. The collection is made during cognitive stimulation sessions, contributing to mental exercises of our elderly people. So, where are you from? We are located in a small town in Alentejo, in South Portugal. Alentejo is the region of Portugal with the highest aging rates. So, but who is Misericórdia de Ferreira do Alentejo? It's a non-profit institution that has been created more than 500 years ago. Misericordias are, in fact, one of the most ancient forms of non-profits in Portugal. They were created as charities organizations to help the poor and those in need all over the country, and have prevailed as important partners of the state in the social area until these days. So, looking at Misericórdia from Ferreira do Alentejo, it seeks to help the community, in particular vulnerable people, providing services to children and to elderly people. For the elderly, we manage a senior nursing home, home support services, and a long-term with a skilled nursing facility. For the youngest, it manages a kindergarten and a leisure activity center. With these services, Misericórdia de Ferreira reaches more than 150 older people and about 200 children daily.
So, if you believe it is possible to educate and care from culture, yes, we do. With the core project, we would like to act in mental health of the elderly in order to encouraging popular learning among the youngest. That means children between 2 and 10 years old. Before explaining the steps of the project and how we thought to implement it, it is important to characterize the state of art of mental health in Alentejo and the cause of dementia. There is a low density in small urban agglomerations, which doesn't allow a truly social ambience. There is a slow mobility of population. Families are small and elderly people don't have the help and health assistance they need. And the truth is that COVID-19 increased depressive symptoms and memory complaints in the elderly. What methodology is being used? A participatory methodology. That means that we have implemented interviews, then we have registered the information in a specific form, we have recorded and disseminated the data among children. This is a project, there is no doubt, that involves some elements of the institution, mainly the socio-cultural animation technician, both technical directors from senior nursery, home and kindergarten, and ICT officer, responsible for recording the videos and managing digital data. In order to accomplish the core project, we have defined 4 phases, 4 steps. In the first one, we have drawing the project and we have done field work. And it is this phase, this phase that we are now. Then we have defined the possible stakeholders, academic colleges, associations, and municipality facilitators. The 4th phase, it is the challenge one, because we would like to create cognitive tools and use information technologies such as computer games and the lab of intangible cultural heritage for children. Now, we'd like to pass a video to show, we are pleased to present a video that aims to show the kind of work we are doing. We regret the lack of subtitles, but we will summarize the story. There was a bird whose tail was sharpened by an old woman, and then the story continues until the bird laid eggs to do some biscuits. What was the context of the transmission? The children surrounded the elders, were available to play. They placed their hands on their legs, and the story obeyed to a rhythm, so that each word fell on the back of the hand. Usually a small pinch was given to the hand. So let's try to show you. Just a second, please.
Big.
Just one more second, please.
Can you watch the video?
Can you give us some feedback? Can you watch the screen?
Yeah, we see the screen, but
okay, thank you very much.
Not the video.
Bico surubim, de tamanho bico, foi a velha chocalheira que põe ovos na ribeira, que é para a filha da tendeira, que é gosto de labareira. Põe 1, põe 2, põe 3, põe 4, põe 5, põe 6, põe 7, põe 8. A recolha o seu biscoito.
Bico, surubim, que é de tamanho de bico, foi a velha chocalheira que põe ovos na ribeira, que é para a filha da tendeira, que é do loja gambareira. Põe 1, põe 2, põe 3, põe 4, põe 5, põe 6, põe 7, põe 8. Ela recolhe o seu biscoito de suor.
So once more, sorry for the lack of subtitles, but just to a sample of the kind of work we are doing till this moment. So we have finished our presentation. If you have any question, thank you, Armanda e Patrícia from Santa Casa de Misericórdia de Ferreira do Alentejo. And here you can see our contacts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Questions, please?
Thank you. Yeah. Shall we? Yeah. Is there any reaction from the audience? Does anyone want to say something about this? I couldn't see the video. I believe the other ones also, but yeah. Is there a possibility, Andrea, to go with video online to help the colleagues to?
Yes, just need to reshare another screen or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they need to reshare another screen, not
Okay.
this one, but the another.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Just a second.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Big surubim, de tamanho big, foi a velha chocalheira que foi.
No, please stop sharing this and share another one. Stop sharing this and please share another one. Stop share this one. And choose another share.
Another. No.
Vamos talvez fechá-lo, não?
Talvez.
Retomar.
Aí. Ok. E agora não. Aqui. Compartilhar. Aqui.
That's it. Good.
Big surubim, de tamanho big, foi a velha chocalheira que põe ovos na ribeira, que é para a filha da tendeira, que é gosto de lambareira. Põe 1, põe 2, põe 3, põe 4, põe 5, põe 6, põe 7, põe 8. Recolha o seu biscoito.
Bico, surro, biquete de tamanho de bico. Foi a velha chocalheira que põe ovos na ribeira, que é para a filha da tendeira, que é golosa e gambareira. Põe 1, põe 2, põe 3, põe 4, põe 5, põe 6, põe 7, põe 8. Ela recolhe o seu biscoito.
Okay. Thank you so much. So now it's the complete presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, Maria and Patricia. Okay, we already have a question. So let's decide, should we go with the questions right now or after all presentations we do have? Andrea?
You are the chair, you decide.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure whether the colleagues from Kazakhstan and Russia are with us. So
Kazakhstan is
here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So and April is here.
So yeah. So let's go with Kazakhstan and for the questions after the session. Okay.
Okay.
That's exactly how it was in the program. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thanks once again. So we are going, okay. We are going further with April Manavat and Yelizaveta Kamilova from the University Nazarbayev. Yeah.
Yes.
Nursultan from Kazakhstan. They are both librarians, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Of course, and then we'll talk about, we are already seeing the first page of their presentation. We'll talk about amplifying the library's online presence from lockdowns to new normal. They did the analysis of the social networks and social media accounts of selected academic libraries in Kazakhstan. So let's listen together and watch what they prepared. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for that introduction, Tamara. So hi, everybody. Greetings from Kazakhstan. My name is April. I'm a reference librarian, and I'm the subject librarian for the School of Sciences and the Humanities here at Nazarbayev University in Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan. And I will be co-presenting this paper with my co-author and colleague, Yelizaveta Kamilova, who is also a reference librarian and currently the subject librarian for the Graduate School of Education. So our topic is entitled Amplifying the Library's Online Presence from Lockdowns to New Normal, Content Analysis and User Engagement of Social Media Accounts of Selected Academic Libraries in Kazakhstan. So first and foremost, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to the organizers of DTCE 2022 for giving us the opportunity to present our study. So moving forward, our talking points would be something about the introduction, objectives, methodology, the overview of the selected social media platforms of these libraries, analysis of the contents, user engagement, conclusion, and our references. So just to give you an idea, Kazakhstan, for those who have not heard of the country, Kazakhstan is the 9th largest country in the world, and we are sharing the borders with Russia, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan at the southern part. So it's quite a big country, but we just selected 5 libraries for the social media platforms. And these libraries are mostly situated in the capital, which is Nur-Sultan, and Almaty, which is also one of the biggest cities in the country. So moving forward, we all know that with the physical closure of the libraries due to the pandemic, libraries have been unavoidably use the power of social media, and it has been very evident in so many studies already. And again, these social media platforms were used as a way to connect to their clients, specifically if this is an academic library, to the students and faculty. And although the social media has been implemented for quite some time in the libraries, it is being heightened now because of the pandemic. So we have seen the potential of social media platforms, not just to deliver service, but to provide the feeling of connectivity to the clients. And again, when we are talking with social media, we're also wanting to make sure that there is an engagement happening with these platforms. And as McClellan defined, social media engagement is the measure of comments, likes, and shares on these platforms. And again, there are so many ways on how to see or how to at least check the engagement in social media platforms. And again, there are some, these are the ways to engage in social media. We have the response-based engagement, which are being used specifically for direct messages, or asking stories, or asking poll or answers through the Instagram story. We also have the reaction-based engagement through captions, which are captivating the interest of your followers. Action-based is more on visiting the links that you have posted in your uploads. We also have the follower-based, which are more of dealing with gaining the followers or subscribers. Sharing base, which is the use of hashtags, user tags, and location tags. And lastly, the rewards-based engagement, which is about the promotion and campaigns. So for this particular study, we made focus on the followers-based engagement and the sharing-based engagement. So again, there are, as I mentioned, there are some related studies available. And one of the studies that we have conducted is something about the Instagram profiles of Islamic academic libraries in Indonesia, where we, based on the literature review that we have conducted, we have seen that there are some functions of social medias in libraries. So this includes enabling the culture of preparedness, connectivity, even providing psychological first aid, even remote learning, which is very common about social media platforms, and even the referral service, and at some point, scientific literature and researches against misinformation and disinformation. And in other libraries, such as in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, they use Instagram as a forum for exchange of information and as a service extension for the public. Aside from that, we also have checked Telegram accounts, which are basically used as a way to disseminate information through links, images, and documents. And at some point, some Telegrams offers audio and electronic books, which cover a wide interest during the pandemic. So given those kinds of related articles, our objective for this study is to document the use of social media platforms for selected academic libraries, which we have 5 academic libraries, and we focus particularly on the Instagram and the Telegram accounts. We also hope to analyze the posts and contents of each social media platforms, and hopefully we try to explore the user engagement of these platforms of the selected academic libraries. So for our methodology, we use descriptive analytic. As I mentioned, we wanted to compare the social media accounts of 5 libraries, and we specifically choose Instagram and Telegram, which are being managed by the library itself. The post should have, or the post that we analyze is from the March 2020 to March 2022. Why on this particular duration? Because as we all know, most of the schools or most of the countries have tried to start the lockdown starting from March 2020. I remember specifically March 16, when it was declared that we have to close the library doors because of the pandemic or because of the lockdown. And until March 2022, just to make sure that we can at least explore how the libraries have been using the social media even after we do not say that the pandemic is over, right? But we are starting to open our doors already, and we wanted to show you how the libraries have been using the social media platforms, even if we are starting to opening the doors. And we specifically use Planks to analyze Instagram engagement and Popsters for Telegram channels. So we determined the following: the type of post, number of subscribers and followers, the post, the number of likes and shares and comments, which is the engagement itself, the frequently used captions, and the hashtags. And just to give you some idea why we use Instagram and Telegram, Instagram, based on data reportal, it is the most used social media platform in Kazakhstan with 11.75 million active users. So here, most of the people, or even the establishments, even libraries, they have the Instagram account rather than a Facebook account. So most of them, they have the Instagram. And Telegram has just gained popularity over the years with the use of the channels and the bots. So that's why we focus on these 2 social media platforms. And here are some of the profiles. So I will be talking about Instagram profiles. My colleague will be talking about Telegram. So here is the profile for the library nu.edu.kz, which is the Nazarbayev University Library. Profile for the ENU Library, the Eurasia National University Library. Kasgu Library. We also have the SDU, or the Suleiman Deraimel Library. We also have the Turan University Library. So we managed to analyze 5 libraries. We also make sure of to note the date of creation. So most of the libraries, the 4 libraries here that have been mentioned, has created their Instagram account as early as 2019, but we have one, which is the Kasgu Library, which created their account in 2015. Number of followers as of last I think this March actually, we have 10,469 for the ENU library. So they have the biggest number of followers for their Instagram account. For the uploads, mind you that these uploads or posts have been specifically counted for March 2020 to March 2022, because that's the period that we are trying to study. And out of I think for ENU library, they have around 486 posts during the pandemic, or during the pandemic up to 2022, March of 2022. And here are some of the Instagram analytics that we have gathered through the planks. So we have mostly the number of engagement, or the average engagement has already been calculated by this tools. So even the engagement, even the brand mentions were already included. And as you may notice, we can see that even the follower location. So for the NU library, well, most of the followers are from Kazakhstan, but we also have other followers from other countries. Aside from that, we have the ENU library. Most of their followers are also from Kazakhstan, and since they have a number of, or a big number of posts or uploads, they also have an average engagement of 41.1%. So these two libraries have been highlighted because of the number of posts and the followers that they have. Again, some of the top library captions, they are mostly in Russian. So I'm sorry, I cannot read those much, but these are in Russian or sometimes in Kazakh languages. And also the same with Turan library. They have some of the captions, these are the frequently used captions. SDU library, they also have their own frequently used captions. NU, which is most of the language used in NU are in English. So it was from the planks we are able to gather these top captions, and most of them are in English language. And here are some of the top hashtags. And as I meant, as we how do you say it? Like analyze, we observed that most of the hashtags were about the library, like library that hashtag library ENU, hashtag NU library. So it's more on the promotion of the libraries. But anyways, there are also other hashtags that have been used by other libraries to promote their own posts. So it depends. Sometimes these kinds of hashtags were based on the programs, or if the content is about the program, they will put something that would easy recall, or the hashtags that can be easily recalled by people. And this is sometimes a widely known hashtags. So for instance, the hashtag break the bias is one of the hashtags that we use for the NU library to promote the Week of Women, which is internationally celebrated during March. So some of the general observations on the Instagram posts, most of the accounts were created, as I mentioned, from 2019 to 2021, except for Kasbu, which was created in 2015. However, the said account was not actively maintained. The posts were more on the library services, work schedules, online resources available during the pandemic. The videos and the reels were really explored, or they uploaded these kinds of formats alongside with the images. We used the stories to explore or facilitate discussions, or even to ask questions. And online programs such as webinars, Zoom sessions were also highlighted with these kinds of posts. For some libraries, the most popular posting days and interaction are from the Mondays and Fridays. So that's why most of the libraries post their uploads, or uploaded their different postings on Mondays and Fridays, just to make sure that people would be able to get, or at least to see these interactions, or to see these postings. And as for some libraries, the usual posting activities were done during the morning, around 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's they also have the engagement on those times, and even at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so that's for the Instagram post. I will be turning over the virtual stage to my co-author, Elisabetta. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, April, thank you. Thank you, everyone, and hello. Again, I would like to thank the organizers of the DTCE 2022 and giving the opportunity for us to share the analysis we've done. So I will be speaking about University Library Telegram channels. Again, this is the 5 libraries that are located in Kazakhstan. And here you can see the date of creation of those Telegram channels. Most of the Telegram channels of university libraries are created during the pandemic time in 2020, but we have a new library who has created their Telegram channel after the pandemic in April 2021, which means that the channel was created a year later. And after that, we can also know that the Kazgyu Library Telegram channel was created in August 2019, before the pandemic starts, but due to some technical errors or problems, the Telegram bot was not used properly. So currently, the Kazgyu Library Telegram is not active. So here is the information from the Kazgyu University Library on the Telegram bot created and developed, and it shows the range of services and consultations on this bot. But currently, as I said, due to technical issues, the bot is not active, and the librarians are working on its issue. Within the objectives of our study, we said that we will consider if university libraries announce on pandemic and what kind of announcement they were. So here you can see an example of the ENU library pandemic announcement, which says that the start of the pandemic and how it will affect to the library work. So from here, you can see that they share with the working schedule of the library itself online, and then sharing the information with the librarians, actively helping their users. So they were providing information on librarians' phone numbers, giving the time range between which they can consult with the librarians with their research-related questions. So going back to the objective of our study, you can see that we will speak about the overall number of posts. So ENU library is leading on this list. So they have published almost 900 publications during the 2020 March till 2022 March. So during 2 years, they were leading with the publishing the posts. Number of subscribers also varies for 4 Telegram channels, but we can see that at SDU Library they have the most number of subscribers. So it's 251 subscribers currently. So this slide shows you the average number of views of posts of each Telegram channels. As you remember from our previous slides, ENU library was one of the posting the most number of posts, but still its average number of views did not reach even the 100. Indeed, those Telegram channels which posts less number of the posts, they get the highest level of average number of views. So each time they publish the post, they get almost 250 views at once. But if you will look to the total number of the views, we can see that ENU library still gets the highest number of the views, because probably it depends on time or overall subscribers. The number of total views can reach almost 43,000 views overall. And the second number goes to the SDU library, which total view number is about 40,000 in a total period of 2020 March and March 2022 for 2 years. So here would like to share with you the posts which were become the most popular on each Telegram channel. So for Turan University Library, the most popular post was about the meeting with the book author, who is Kazakhstani local author, and its view became one of the most popular, #1. And on the second and third places is an information about the upcoming information session with the provider and about the library Instagram channel. So these 3 posts become on the first top 3 places. The next top popular post of the SDU library, and on the first and second places, you can see that there is a sharing of the book information. So they share with the Little Prince and the Alchemist, and they become one of the popular and viewed Telegram posts. And the third is the meeting with the provider. NU library most popular posts also available for your reference. So here you can see that all of them mostly were about events, upcoming events. The first place goes to the Cochrane Library event, meeting with the publisher representative and the webinar itself. On the second place, it goes to the annual library event on Week of Women, which is coordinated with the library in cooperation with NU schools and departments and faculty members. And the third place goes to the meeting with the book author. It went online, so there were lots of views as well. The next is about ENU library most popular posts. Here you can see that they were also about the events, upcoming events. For example, the first is about the competition of ENU library provided to its users, and it is about essay competition. The second place goes to the video, which was created by librarians in order how to search and use the library services. And the third place is about the book display on scientific works. And now here we have already considered the Instagram top hashtags, but now using the Telegram also said that they use lots of hashtags. So for the NU Library Telegram channel, the top hashtags are NU Library, trial access, read more books, etc. So these are the top hashtags used on Telegram channel of the NU Library. As April mentioned, most of them about promoting and branding their own affiliation. The NU library uses the same hashtags as in Instagram, so it also goes with ENU, library ENU, new books, and virtual book displays. Turan University Library has a different angle of using hashtags because their hashtags is about the databases they use. So here you can see the most used database, IPR-MIDI. It is a local Kazakhstani or Russian database. The next is SDU library top hashtags that you can see. They also use the self-branding hashtags, which is SDU University, SDU library, and SDU. Generally speaking, here we can say that most of the accounts of the Telegram, University Library Telegrams, were created in 2020 during the pandemic time. And as I mentioned, NU Library was the one who created the Telegram channel later, a year later, in April 2021. But the Kazgu bot, which was created earlier in 2019, due to inactivity can be analyzed during this study. So most of the posts on Telegram were about the library service, promoting some resources available to their users and about the work schedules. Online programs such as webinars, Zoom sessions also were highlighted, also shared the files for their user references. And here we can conclude that most of the accounts that were created, they were during the pandemic, and librarians tried to utilize it to reach their users and promote the services that they have. Such platforms as Instagram and Telegram were used to deliver those various services, including sharing files, links, and images. Also, they promoted all the library programs and several services. Yeah, the social media channels also were used in order to inform the library working schedule, and different videos and instructions were uploaded as well. And it is important to note that as Kazakhstani universities mostly teach in 3 languages, most of the publications were duplicated in all 3 languages, considering its user needs. Yeah, so in order to analyze the engagement, we have used different aspects such as the engaging post, the engagement of the followers and subscribers. But we also mentioned that even the high number of the followers doesn't guarantee any high engagement. So probably it will take another stage for us in order to understand and deliver what is the impact for having good engagement with the users. So here with you were me, Елизавета Kamilova, the reference librarian of Nazarbayev University Library, the subject librarian for Graduate School of Education, and my co-author April Manabat, also the reference librarian at Nazarbayev University Library and subject librarian for School of Humanities and Social Sciences. And here you can see the references used for our presentation. I believe you can find it later from our organizers. And again, if you have any questions, we would love to answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Yelisaveta and April. It is very interesting research you made. So in this session, we heard two presentations, two future papers, let's say, and from two very different sectors, but it only means that digital transformation is everywhere, and all are touched by digital transformation in different way, of course. So we have some 20 minutes for questions, and the first one came for the colleagues from Portugal, for Maria and Patricia. It was, just give me a minute to look for it. Okay. Our colleague Jelena Mišović asked what types of partnerships had the colleagues from Portugal in their very project. Could you provide an answer on this?
Okay.
Did you have any kind of cooperation with others?
So, sorry. Okay. Thank you for putting some questions. Well, the phase that is the most challengest one is the one you want to create new educating technologies, new ones, innovation. And so in order to create cognitive tools and use information technologies, such as computer games and the lab of intangible cultural heritage for children, for instance, we need to have partnerships. So we have right now a partnership with a university of Alentejo near us, in order to think the project and to learn with them. We have also another associations would like to strengthen the partnership with Alzheimer Association, for instance, and also with municipality equipments. Like health ones and cultural ones as well. I don't know if I answered the question. Patricia, want to?
Yes, the main proposal is to go to each of these entity and grab the knowledge that each specific phase of the project will need. So when we talk about creating a lab, tech lab, we will need to search for partnerships in these areas. So when we talk about strengthening the relationship with Alzheimer's Association and other ONGs in this mental health area, we are thinking to ask them to pass us the knowledge about some new strategies and some new tools in the mental health area, because our elderly people are each day more dependent. So we need to optimize the knowledge in these networks. So
yes, thank you so much, and also Yellen, said great job you're doing, and congratulations. I'm also joining this congratulations. It is very interesting. And just have an additional question. Did you have any additional funding for this project, or you did it with the municipal budget that you have at your work?
Until now, Misericordia is the only funder, but we are thinking about running to some financing programs that are here in opening calls in Portugal. So
thank you so much. If there is no more questions, great job, thank you. Okay, there is no more questions for you. Let's go to the colleagues from Kazakhstan.
Thank you.
See what questions we got for them. So I got the question from Jelena Glišević again. Did you use some outsourcing for content design or similar issues in your project? It is for April and Elisaveta. Yeah.
So what's the question again? Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. Sorry, just to find it again. Yeah. Did you use some outsourcing for content design? Some outsource, tools for content design, or what did you use actually?
We for the content we didn't use any outsource or tools to check the content. Merely for how we see the post or how engaging it is. But for the engagement, we made use of planks for Instagram and Popster for the Telegram. So I saw that there is a question over at the chat from Miss Reza, and just to also answer that question, we didn't use for the phone numbers. So as I mentioned, we use a tool, and it just required the handle, which is the @library, for instance, @library.nu.edu.kz, and we will just put the handle on that particular platform, and it will generate some results already. So for the phone numbers, we didn't use any phone numbers for personal information. If in case we might use phone numbers or any informational identifiable informational or personal information, we will ensure the privacy by just making sure that this information is just for the sole use of the authors or the researchers of this study. I hope I answered the question. Maybe
yes, you answered also to Reza's questions. Yes. Great, Reza. Do you have something more that you are interested in, or that's all?
Well, just to add to the April's words, during the analysis and considering the methodology, we were reviewing different tools, because in the beginning we were trying other tools, and it became that some of them have limitations. For example, number of times which you can apply the tool, or duration of the time. And we were, while considering which tool to be used, we stick with Planks and Popster. These tools were used and guaranteed the, I forgot the word. So we won't use the identifying information of the users. Yeah.
Okay. I also do have a question for you too. Having in mind that libraries are, should be fighting against fake news and do something more for information literacy. Did you analyze the content, and did Kazakhstan academic libraries did something in this field against fake news, like about coronavirus or about some information that flew that were not maybe true or correct?
Yeah, maybe I could answer first. Yeah, we have well, on the post, we rarely see that kind of post. As I mentioned, or as a result of our analysis, most of the posts are on the programs, or how do you say it? Like promotion of the collection, the library programs and services. But for the COVID and the misinformation thing, we have on library portals, we have our own lib guides where we created, like say, a dedicated COVID-19 lib guide, something like that, where we also heightened the use of evaluating sources. We fight misinformation. We always go with we celebrate the Global MIL Week, even if it's online. So we try our best to create something more relevant with regards to infodemic and the use of different, alternative facts and misinformation. So basically, when we are thinking of misinformation with these kinds of platforms, what we're trying to do is to create, or at least to promote the library programs and services that are related to this initiative. So for instance, our Global MIL Week. So we put the programs there at the Telegram or in the Instagram, or we promote our lib guides, for instance, and we direct them to the library portal. So that's how we basically do library promotion with regards to misinformation, infodemic, and all sorts of those things. Maybe Lisa, you can add something.
Thank you, April. Yeah, as April shared, we have dedicated pages on COVID, and most of the libraries do so. And even some of the libraries don't have their own web pages; they do it on the university websites. And in addition, I would like to note that our library won grants of the new Social Development Fund, which grant us with the amount of some money, so we could develop 2 different projects in order to promote the information literacy and the fight against fake news. So our librarians currently working with local Kazakhstani school libraries and teach them how to work with the information, how to raise the information literate school children. So our work is really dedicated on information literacy currently, and try to help local librarians become more information literate.
Yeah, congratulations on these 2 grants, and yeah, good luck with all this. So I think that we could end this session with the beautiful words by Jovana Bakic. Yeah, she said that I would like to say it was a very good example of new library techniques during the COVID pandemic, and it was a pleasure to follow this topic. So yeah, congratulations again. And Yelena Jajulov asked, you mentioned one of the roles of libraries is to give psychological first aid through social networks. I find it very interesting. Can you tell us something more about it? Yeah, it would be our last question. Thank you.
So yeah, I mentioned it because I previously I have another study which was previously with a co-author from Indonesia, and this is coming from the different literatures that we have analyzed. So it was mentioned there that libraries became a psychological first aid through social media. It's more of providing information, or at least contact information on different, how do you say it, like I cannot get the exact office, but it's something about the psychological, something about mental health thing, because we all know that the pandemic didn't just give us different, the sickness of the body, but also with the mental health. So based on the study that we have conducted from that particular research, we noticed based on the literature that the libraries have created such kind of mechanism to redirect or to promote these kinds of services. That's why it was some sort of psychological first aid. And at the same time, I think I can relate that also to our libraries here in Kazakhstan. For instance, our library during the pandemic has this NU Stress Relief Week, where we partnered with the school, I forgot this office, but it's more of the something about the mental health, and where we provide different posting about stress relief, something about ASMR, where they created videos where they can relax, something like that. So especially during the exam week, where the students are really, we find it probably difficult for the students to manage the stress of the exam week plus the pandemic stress. So that's why it became one of the interesting things that libraries now, or for that particular study, that the libraries became an psychological first aid platform for some of the people during the pandemic. Yeah. Thank you, Jelena.
So, yeah, just the last check of the chat channel. Yeah, there is no more questions. So, yeah, I think that we are nearly on time. So, thank you, everyone. Yeah, contributing in this session, and yeah, good luck in your future work.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Andrea?
Thank you, Tamara, for the great chairing this session. Thank you, all participants, for very interesting presentations. Congratulations to all of you. Now I would like to ask our colleague Branka is here. She said, yes, she's here. Just to tell a few words about her filming, I would like to congratulate our colleagues for the prize, IFLA MPSIG music content. They win with the film. We will see the film about the film and the film how they recorded. Branka, are you here? Branka, yeah. Hello. Unmute, please.
Okay. Idemo.
Yes.
I greet you on behalf of the staff of the Public Library Ilya Petrovich Kovarev. Music competition, it was not a professional competition, but an opportunity for librarians to show something new, to present their creative potential in addition to professional competencies, and point out the importance of libraries in the modern world through artistic content. Okay.
Can we see the movie? Thank you. Branka, congratulations you in personal for this prize. I hope we will all enjoy it. Now let's see the movie about the movie and the movie itself.
See you.
À la recherche du temps perdu, find Mrs. Dalloway. Oh, Charlemagne the clown, listen to what they say. Not to Mephisto and Faust, wave to the Argonauts in this miraculous world. They are close friends, close friends. And now I want to be a yellow paper bird from an old book on the ground, and to fly again like the stories on my wings, to steal another round. The girl next to the library shelf whispers with a smile, best all saying of all time. Haben zur fatali belly, we are vestals of the new age, the guardians of the eternal flame. No man is an island, you know. And she puts the book in my palm, the book in my palm. And now I want to be a yellow paper bird from an old book on the ground, and to fly again like the stories on my wings, to steal another round.
Pozdrav svima, ja sam Branka.
Ja sam Maja, a ovo je priča o snimanju spota Yellow Paper Bird.
Nadamo se da će vam se dopasti. Ovo je moje radno mesto odeljene periodike. Tradicionalan bibliotekarski posao, ali ko može reći da bibliotekari ne mogu da budu kreativni. Mi smo priliku za kreativnost, da ispadimo svoju kreativnost dobili prošle godine kada je IFLA raspisala prvi muzički konkurs za bibliotekare. Propozicije konkursa nisu bile stroge, trebalo je napisati pesmu, eventualno snimiti muzički spot. I rok je bio 30. juni. Pukim slučajem ja sam taj tekst konkursa videla 2 nedelje pred kraj i onda krenula jurnjava sa rokovima. Kad sam videla konkurs, istog momenta sam dobila ideju šta bih htjela da uradim, kakav spot da napravim, koju priču da ispričam. Nije mi ovo bio prvi spot koji sam radila, ali je bio specifičan za više stvari. Odmah sam pozvala naravno Mariju Kopun, sa kojom uvek sarađujem na ovakvim projektima i kad sam ispričala za ideju, odmah smo se složile da ćemo to da uradimo. Tako da, uradili smo ono što smo htjeli, imali smo sjajnu saradnju, ono što je najvažnije, sjajno smo se zabavljali sve vreme. Spot je urađen uz ne malu, nego baš veliku pomoć prijatelja. Svi ljudi koji se pojavljaju u spotu su učestvovali sa ogromnim zadovoljstvom. Jurili smo ih, pošto su rokovi bili kratki, snimili smo sve u 2 dana, subotu i nedelju. I onda Mala naravno preuzela u svoje ruke montažu. Dok smo snimale, ona nije samo snimatelj, ona neko ko daje predloge, ko sugeriše, tako da odlučno se razumemo i to se na kraju pokazuje koliko god da smo različiti po senzibilitetu, pokazuje se kao dobra kombinacija. Pesmu komponovao moj suprug Branko Pravić, koji za sebe ima dugu kantautorsku karijeru, a već je sarađivao na nekim programima naše biblioteke. Zbog kratkih rokova nije bilo vremena da se komponuje nova muzika i da se uradi produkcijski snimak visokog kvaliteta, a to je bio jedan od uslova za prijavu. Branko je u svom opusu neobjavljenih pesama pronašao jednu za koju smo se složili da bi žanrovski odgovarala ideji i atmosferi spota i na taj demo snimak sam napisala tekst pesme. Tako da smo imali pesmu, ja sam tekst napisala na engleskom, moram da objasnim da nisam napisala zbog praćenja trendova, nego zbog propozicija. Pesma je mogla da bude na maternjem jeziku, ali bi onda morala da bude titlovana. Ili je morala da bude na nekom od službenih jezika IFRE. Sad, pošto naš spot ima svoj tok, svoju priču, a to je priča o jednom momku, putniku, bibliotekaru, čitaocu koji putuje kroz vreme od antičkog Rima, od vremena svitaka, pa do današnjeg doba i elektronske knjige. I u svakom tom periodu ostavlja knjigu kao trag da bio tu. Tako da, to je jedan tok priče. Sama pesma ima svoju priču koja se ne podudara sa spotom. Ja inače kad radim spotove nikad ne prepričavam tekst pesme. Ja nisam smatrala da je, ako neko treba da gleda spot, da prati tok priče u spotu, da sluša pesmu i da čita titl, da to stvara gužvu. I onda bilo mnogo jednostavnije da se uradi pesma na engleskom, inače prvi stih pesme je na francuskom, a jedan je na latinskom, sve ostalo na engleskom i prosto to je bilo neko optimalno rešenje, jer engleski manje više svi znaju i onda mogu lakše da prate cijelu tu priču. Na kraju svega ostao kao najlepši utisak ogromna radost koju smo doživjeli, ne zbog pobede. Svi smo mi pobedili, svi koji su učestvovali na tom konkursu su pobednici, svi bibliotekari, bilo dakle da su. Ali najljepše od svega toga je bilo kad su se javljale kolege iz cele Srbije, iz regiona, sa toliko divnih, toplih reči, sa takvim čestitkama, da kad se vratim unazad, kad se setim te prošle godine, prvi utisak je ogromno oduševljenje u našoj biblioteci, koja je osvojila to prvo mesto na konkursu, i ogromna radost naših kolega i taj divan odnos koji smo uspostavili počet sa kolegama koji su nam čestitali, koji su sa nama podelili radost, i to je ono što na kraju ostaje, i ostaje ta poruka koju sam u spotu pokušala da kažem, da prenesem, da je knjiga u svim svojim oblicima ono što nas uvek povezuje, uvek ostavlja trag u nama. Volim da radimo ovo, ali volim i ovo.
Ja ću da snimam, pa da imam materijal, znaš.
Zamisli pehne, ne može da upunemo to.
Pa onda će da ga do vesla.
Ima da crkne dvašno, a Uroš?
Pa Uroš će da crkne, a veslo uzvodno, sad ide niz brda.
Da, slobodno, opušteno, nemoj u mene. Tako, čekaj malo iz više uglova da prođemo, odlično. Čekaj. Dobro, sad si video knjigu. Odlično. Pričate nešto? Ti, Uroše, dok se grle, dođi i stavi mu knjigu u torbu i izađi. Pazi. Ajde.
I okrenem se i odem.
Da.
Branka i ja se dugo poznajemo. Koleginice smo, ali smo pre svega bliske prijateljice. I kad sarađujete sa nekim koga dobro poznajete i sa kim se odlično razumete, to onda zaista bude jedna lepa i zabavna saradnja. I naš zajednički rad na Žutoj ptici je bio baš takav, kao i svaki do sada, samo što je možda ovde odgovornost bila nešto veća. Mi svakako odgovorno pristupamo svakom projektu, ali sa ovim spotom mi smo predstavljali ustanovu u kojoj radimo i zemlju iz koje dolazimo i svakako da to stvara nešto veće osjećaj odgovornosti. A što se same pobjede tiče, ja je zaista nisam očekivala, ne zato što nisam verovala u nas kao tim, naprotiv. Samo sam bila potpuno svesna naših mogućnosti kada je u pitanju tehnička izrada spota. Mi smo snimale mobilnim telefonom, jednim. Snimljeni materijal montirala sam u osnovnom paketu programa Sony Vegas i nešto u Windows Movie Makeru. Radila sam na solidnom, ali dosta starom laptopu i naravno da sam znala da će se sa svojim spotovima pojaviti kolege širom sveta sa mnogo većim tehničkim mogućnostima nego što su naše. Ali ono u što sam verovala od samog početka, to je ideja našeg spota. Verovala sam da će biti originalna, da će biti drugačija i da ćemo se njom razlikovati od ostalih kandidata i tako je i bilo. Samo snimanje završile smo vrlo brzo. Uglavnom smo snimale 2 dana jednog vikenda i 1 dan nam je bio potreban da se neke scene ponove. Imali smo tu sreću da grad u kome živimo leži na reci, na Dunavu, da se od njega na nekih 11 km nalazi arheološko nalazište Eliminacijum, a na nekih 20 do 30 km jedan mali, ali predivan srednjevekovni manastir da smo mi u ta 2-3 dana promenila jedno 6-7 lokacija, gledale u nebo, tumačile oblake, zato što Maj zaista zna da kišama pokvari planove, ali smo naravno na kraju uspeli da snimimo sve što smo hteli. Svakako to ne bi bilo moguće bez pomoći divnih ljudi, naših prijatelja, koji su odvojili i svoje vreme i svoje strpljenje i glumili u našem spotu, a eto Branka i ja smo se potrudile da im to bude kao i nama jedno novo, lepo i značajno iskustvo. Posle snimanja dolazi montaža kao još jedan izazov. Bilo je tu mnogo papira po stolu, mnogo foldera po desktopu razbacanih, ali haos na stolu i haos na desktopu ne znači haos u glavi, već naprotiv. Definitivno je bilo malo sna, ali na kraju uz nedovoljno programskih alatki vi uspete da izmontirate spot baš onako kako ste želeli. Definitivno imala sam i sreću da Branka kao režiser ima potpuno poverenje u svog montažera, tako da me je ostavljala samu noću da uz pola litra kofeina i paklu nikotina u miru i tišini montiram spot. I kad smo sve to završile, kada smo spot poslale, onda smo priredili vrtnu zabavu za naše prijatelje, dragi ljudi koji su nam pomogli i premijerno smo za njih pustili spot i na taj način smo, kako je Branka u jednom od njenih tekstova napisala, pustili žutu pticu u svet. Tako da sve u svemu bilo je to jedno novo, dragoceno iskustvo, sjajna zabava, druženje sa divnim ljudima i kada svemu tome pridodate i pobedu, onda dobijete zaista jedan pravi, potpuni paket, onako sa sve mašnom zapakom.
Znači, muvu ili topolu?
Pre će biti topolu.
A možda i muvu. Šta ćete nam pevati?
Yellow paper bird.
Samo da nam ne ode sunce.
And now I want to be a yellow paper bird from an old book on the ground, and to fly again like the stories on my wings to steal another round. And now I want to be a yellow paper bird from an old book on the ground, and to fly again like the stories on my wings to steal another round.
Bravo, excellent. Thank you very much. Bravo for creativity, Branka and Maya. We will sing the song for the rest of the day, surely. You have transferred to us a beautiful emotion from Jelena Glišević, Jelena Đurđulova, great movie about the movie as well. Thank you, dear colleagues. Please, if someone have some question or comment, you are welcome to ask. There is also on YouTube one comment from Miljana S. Fantastic song, dear colleagues. Congrats once more. Nemanja, what a wonderful video and song, truly inspiring. Nemanja Brkić. Jelena Đurđula, hope you will surprise us again. We all hope.
Hvala svima, thank you very much.
Suzanne, congratulations.
I think that Branka should prepare for making videos on demand for different occasions or for conferences, rather, because you done it so great. It was really so nice to see it again. Thank you.
Thank you. Jovana?
Izvolite.
Nisam vas razumela malo, tako da ne znam da li ste me nešto pitali ili...
Ne, samo sam, I just said that you can expect demands for videos making for some other occasions, since you're very talented. Hold your team. Andrea, is it now time for a break? Thank you everyone for participating in this first session, and see you again from 1 o'clock after a short break.
institutional repositories are emerging as a vehicle for new directions in how libraries can support the academic community both locally and globally. And
Good evening, I'm Vicky Gerontopoulou, as Library Coordinator, and I would like to introduce you to Kostas Diamantis, 3D graphics and game developer, software and media administrator at Onassis Stegi.
That we have repeated
One of the student competition
categories of digital projects in
hello everyone again. Maybe we shall wait for a minute more.
Yes, a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, thank you once again for being here. And now I have a great pleasure to invite Andrea Sagic, our colleague librarian from Public Library Milutin Bojic in Belgrade, and also head and president of section for library transformation in Serbian Library Association. And I'm inviting him to share with us his thoughts on knowledge in information era.
Thank you, Jelena. I will now share my screen. Hope you see it. Everything is okay?
It is, go on.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you again for coming to our conference. I will speak about one huge problem we have here. It's a knowledge in information era. So let's see what's happened in that field. I would like to remind you first what's happened. Informations are doubled up, but the knowledge is doubled down. You know, every day we have a huge amount of information which bombing us through the internet, but as we see, the knowledge is doubled down every day. We have more information, doubled, our knowledge is going proportionally down. So let's start from antique Greek, how they think about knowledge and what is knowledge there. They named knowledge with techne, which is not only mean the knowledge itself, it also means some skill, art, but the most important thing about their definition of knowledge is that the knowledge you own the knowledge when you can learn another one with that skill. There you have knowledge. Either way, you don't have knowledge. Okay, it's too strong today. We can't do that. But let's see how in epistemology, one discipline of philosophy, how they define knowledge. Well, knowledge is the truth justified belief. What that mean? That if we have some everyday event, the truth that mean that it's happened, justified. Yeah, we know. I have proof and evidence that this event is really happened, and I believe that it happened. So I would like to focus about the everyday events. You know, there are different type of knowledge, so it's very wide a theme. But for me, interesting now is how we deal with everyday events and about the information sources which are about those events. You know, in digital era, we have different sources. Well, for example, their live stream, sir. Their live stream. You know, we all have mobile phones, and we record some events, and it's go live stream or either YouTube, either Twitter, Facebook, or TikTok, and there are a lot of social networks platforms that are used to be live streamed. Also, we share a post on social networks about those events, either by writing them or make a photo and share a photo with some comment. We have also online news, which is, you know, the television is more complex. It's late for publishing the information about some events. You know, if something happened, the news company got the information that this happened, and they must send the team to cover that event. It must some time to be passed, and what's happened? All that sources can form a different context. What it mean? Different context. You know, if I stream, I record that event as a participator through the video live stream. I have one picture what's happened. I don't know what's happened earlier and why this event happened. I just see this event through the share post. Someone can make a comment and put one type of context about that event and why it's happened. It doesn't mean that this comment and this content is true. And also online news, we see now that the many news companies have their own attitude about the events, and they interpreted them according to the politics they have. So you see, one single event can have different sources with completely different context. So what we have there is we also, those information sources actually serve us to justify this events. We have all the same. At the end, we have information sources with only justified. So we don't have evidence about what's happened, why this event is happened. We only see the information, and we see we have context of that information, different context of that information, and we have now knowledge which is based on different contexts and different attitudes. So, as I said, we have one event, we have different information sources which give us completely different knowledge. As I said, informations are doubled up, but the knowledge is doubled down. How is possible to have different knowledge about the same event? Well, because we don't check any more information. We don't have time to check the informations. You know, before the internet, you have televisions, you have newspapers, you have a culture of creating the news and some obligation to speak the truth. Now the truth is only what I see, and I create the truth for myself and for the other. So based on knowledge I have, I make some decision. So whether do I have a wrong knowledge or false knowledge, so to say, I will make a wrong decision. So let's remind ourselves of one event. We have different information sources which give us a different knowledge. What those different knowledge? What's the it get? We have one information, we have one knowledge, and one decision. We have information two, which give us second knowledge, second decision, and we have so many informations that create so many knowledge, that create so many decisions. So it's huge mess around here. So let's speak about artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence make decisions using algorithms and machine learning. So if AI make decisions, does it have a knowledge? As we seen earlier, based on knowledge, I made some decision on. So can we ask that AI have a knowledge to make a decision? Okay, it make a decision using their algorithms and machine learning. Okay, we also do the same thing. We have learned something through the period of our life, and we have some algorithms, we can call it, on what, based on our knowledge, we do some decision. For me, I would like to say that artificial intelligence have no knowledge. Why? Because artificial intelligence cannot create a belief about that event. But unfortunately, now we are in a situation where raw information create knowledge, which create decision. We all working now as artificial intelligence. We believe to our information. We use raw information to create our knowledge without any questioning, verification, etc. As we see, raw information give as a knowledge which give us decision. Raw information I can give different knowledge which can give different decisions. So about the same event, we can have different knowledge and extremely different decision, which can lead us, I don't know where. So, can we do something about that? Can we save us from different decisions? I think yes, we can. So how? Regarding the digital era and the information era, we have digital education, digital ethics, and digital culture. Can these three things can help us to save us from different decisions? I think yes. What digital education can do, which is the most harder work to do, to learn us how to deal with those raw informations. You know, as everything, you need to have tools how to solve some problems. When I receive raw information, I must have a tool to verify this. But the best thing how to do that is through digital education and to put it in educational process, how to verify the mess of information. Digital ethics, yeah, it can help also to regulate behavior online. We said I can take analog ethics or traditional ethics, have tried to regulate our behavior in society. So the digital ethic can and it work on regulating the online behavior. And I hope as soon as possible we will have some results which will lead us to some better behavior on internet. And last but not least is digital culture. Digital culture can further shape the online culture. By culture, I mean the culture in most wide sense, the culture how we behave between us, how we speak, how we write. And I really do believe that digital culture can shape the online culture on the same way how it's shaped our culture until today. So I would like to thank you, and if you have some questions, comments, or further you would like to discuss, I'm here.
Andrea, thank you very much. I wanted to ask maybe how careful we should be in receiving the knowledge available from different digital educational sources, since it's a big diversity and it's again up to us to choose. So we can conclude that the knowledge is fragile, but how to save our souls from this fragility?
I would like to ask you all, what do you think? Do you think that artificial AI have knowledge?
Personally, me, I agree with you, no, but informations, of course, yes.
So do you believe that we can, the digital education, ethics, and culture can help us to do that?
Well, I know that we have to believe, there is no other way. Until we have hope. But what I wanted to say is that sometimes it's very hard to choose the right source. We are actually up to us.
Yeah, but we have now live stream events. We have mobile phone. Someone is there and share a live stream from the place. Yeah, that's it. But we don't know why is that's happened. Here is one question from the chat. Yelena Giorgio, can you explain more? What do you mean when talking about digital culture? I mean all the culture events and content we have traditionally, theater, books, all the culture content. We have music, which is now in digital format and available online. So as we earlier go to theater or to library to read the book, now we have online sources to go to online theater. We have digital books. So on the same way how that culture is shape us through the millenniums until today, on the same way, I believe that digital culture can shape the future.
Thank you, Andrea. Maybe someone else would like to ask something. Feel free to write in our chat. I will just check YouTube also if there are some comments.
Hello, Yelena. The other Yelena is here. I agree partly with Andrea about digital culture, but I think that it also is a term that is about the way people uses all this. People use this technology to communicate digital content, and well, there is some wider meaning to it.
What's the difference in music, this content?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe I don't have enough experience with it, but I suppose it's about how do you choose what to share, for example, or in what I think context is always important in every kind of cultural activity.
Yeah, that's a big question, how to find what you want. Of course, there are a lot of ads and there are a lot of, you know, when you search some content, okay, the algorithms of the searches, of the internet searches like Google or DuckDuckGo, all the search engines have their own algorithms and they put the content
Yes,
according to
that's
some.
the impact of technology, actually,
Yes.
which is also made by people. So,
Yeah, it's also a big question. Well, okay, if I search something from Serbia, I give the results which is more connected to the region from my there wasn't be the same result like in Germany or Spain or USA. Everyone will get the results according to first the geographic position.
yes. Well, so it can be good, but maybe
yes.
in some cases it isn't. So,
But there are tricks, no tricks. There are a way how to find what you search for.
yes, that's well. What you told us just emphasizes importance of digital literacy or
yes,
information literacy, and not only information literacy, it's communication literacy. Actually, it's wider term today, and yes, it's sometimes like Wild West.
yes.
When you get out there. So, thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you for this discussion. And now, since at this moment we do not have a connection with our next speaker, I invite you all to grab some coffee or some other kind of refreshments, and maybe we could make a small chat, less formal, maybe to share some information about conference proceedings from this year for the authors that are interested in publishing it. Andrea, will you share? So it will be the same format as the previous year, and that means that papers will be published in on Zenodo platform. But
yes, the same thing as last year. The deadline is August the 20th. You will receive the format, how to prepare your
template.
Yes, template. You will receive your template and write. You can now turn on your cameras if you like.
It's nice to see each other. And about visibility of papers on Zenodo, they're all in open access. Are there any?
An open air platform.
Yes, and it's indexed in just a second. I'm on Zenodo now.
Okay.
Indexed in open air. So
Yeah.
and every paper had its own DOI number and the statistic, how many times it's used and how many times it's downloaded. And license for publishing is Creative Commons version 4, international.
Maybe we should wait for 1:40 when it's the official time slot for our next speaker from Spain, in a good hope that she will connect. Unfortunately for today, we have to conclude that we have connection problems with colleagues from Russia, since we haven't received any sign from them, email or other, about their participation, but we will see until tomorrow if some of them manage to show up. We will surely give them space to share with us.
Yes, hopefully. So tomorrow we start at 12 o'clock.
A little bit more later.
We have, there should be more papers tomorrow, more presentations. And we hope it will be a successful day.
Okay, since the colleagues from Celebinska Regional University Scientific Library, Inessa Jagodina is not with us, and also Tada Hetzel from Temelloso, Spain. We will finish our program for today, and we will look forward tomorrow when we will have some excellent presentations and key mentors. Thank See you you very tomorrow. much all. Bye-bye.